This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the RHCR Theater production of Wizard of Oz, coming up the last 2 weekends in July. Raelynne Burns and Gregga John. Raelynne and Gregga, thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Gregga, you are the director of the show, yes, and Raelynne, you play Dorothy.
Yes.
So, Raelynne, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about where do you go to school? What other shows have you done?
I go to school at Prairie, and I'm 14. June, last year's show. I've been in Seussical, Fiddler on the Roof, and then now Wizard of Oz.
All right. Well, you're a veteran. You've already at 14. You've done more shows. You've done more shows than I have. So, excellent. Do you are you getting your head around Dorothy? It's a familiar part. I mean, you know, we all kind of know the story of Dorothy. I'm gonna have you think for a minute about a question I'll ask you presently about how you try and do it your own way, or what you're trying to bring to this part that is so familiar to us. But before we do that, Gregga, I want to ask you about this production in particular, because this is the young person's production. So what's different?
Nobody over the age of 18 is allowed on stage.
Okay, well, there you go. It's the Logan's Run of musical theater.
Yeah. It's a little different from the movie in that it has been adapted to stage. So obvious changes to we don't have fire on stage. We don't even have real water. Those are kind of significant parts in the movie. But also there is a different song. There is a new song in the show just before Act 2. So the ending of Act 1 ends with a jitterbug song all about fears, and that replaces the poppy scene in the movie because we don't have snow falling or poppies and things like that. So it's a really nice convention, but it's already written in, and it's a fantastic song. I'm very excited to share it. The kids do a great job. It's a real big dance number, and I think everyone's going to really enjoy it.
So I know that the tradition at RHCR for this summer show is that it features just kids, and I think that kids are young people are also a big part of the crew.
Yes. And
they're really once your job as the director is done, you turn it all over to people under 18. Yes.
Mostly yes. Deidre is our production manager, and she becomes the stage manager once they're on stage. So she's our touch point, and we have parent volunteers. And a lot of the set changes and things like that, because we really want to emphasize a work in process and a student process, and it's all about learning how to do theater and having a lot of fun while we're doing it.
No, there aren't always a lot of opportunities to not only be on stage, but also run the crew as well.
Yes.
But as you know, as having directed just a few shows, those are important skills to learn.
They are very important skills, and it makes it even more inclusive. There's a lot of people in the world who don't like to be on stage, and I want to give those kids a chance to shine in their own way without being seen. I like to call them secret agents. They have to get around and make everything happen and get things done without ever being seen. So,
what is different about directing young people as opposed to directing adults?
Honestly, it takes a lot more self-control. A lot of directors, when you're with adults, you have a certain level of expectation of responsibility. Directing kids, they're still learning, so it requires a whole lot more grace, which I actually appreciate because I need more grace in my life. But it's a wonderful learning opportunity for everyone to understand that everybody's different and nobody has to behave a certain way. It's okay if we don't all get along, and it's okay if personalities clash, and it's okay if there's misunderstandings. We just talk about it, and then we move on and go forward and learn to work together. And I really love that. The kids are so eager and so compassionate and so understanding, and they're just a refreshing breath of wonderful delight to work with.
Talking with Gregga John and Raelynne Burns about the upcoming production of Wizard of Oz at RHCR Theater, or Rich Heritage of Cedar Rapids Theater is what that stands for. And Raelynne, as Dorothy, I warned you that I was going to ask you about the challenges and joys of taking over such a well-known part. Everybody knows, everybody has a mental image of Dorothy, whether that's Shirley Temple for the movie or somebody they
Judy
saw.
Garland. Shirley Temple was
Shirley
actually
Temple.
asked to do the movie.
Yeah,
But
that's
then
right.
I went with Judy Garland.
That's right. That's been on my mind lately.
Yes.
Whether it was Judy Garland from the movie, or anybody who's played it on stage or in the movie since then. So what are you trying to do with this portrayal?
I think I want to really bring out the joy that Dorothy has because it's supposed to be childish, and I just want to show her love for each person individually in the cast and just bring out the joy and show the love for Toto, too. I really enjoy working with her. So
Tell me about Toto. Now, you're doing something interesting and different with that character.
Yes, Toto will be a puppet run by a puppeteer while we're in Kansas. However, when the house lands in the Wizard of Oz, in Munchkin Land, and all the magic happens, Toto becomes a real live puppy. Well, actually, real live human girl who plays a puppy.
Portraying a puppet. Well, I have some knowledge of that because
Yes.
years ago my son was a live action Toto in a production of The Wizard of Oz. So I think that's the way everybody should
Yes.
do it. Real dogs, puppets. I put a person there and let
Yes,
them
yes.
have some fun
And
with
we-
that.
we
And I'll
do-
bet that's a fun part.
It is, and we give her a little bit more freedom so she doesn't have to be on her feet the whole time. So she is a little girl embodying puppy personality. And she just does a wonderful job, and she's having a lot of fun. I actually even brought my real dog, Fonzie, into rehearsals one day and had Raelynne and Adora just watch him and play with him and lead him around. I actually had my puppeteer girl, she led him around everywhere just to kind of get used to when he pulled. And it was really funny. There were a couple of times when the kids start dancing, the dog would bark crazy, and I'm like, well, that's what you need to do. So we had a lot of fun with that.
When Toto's played by a person, he or she becomes one of the coolest characters in the entire play.
Yes.
I think. So that should be a lot of fun.
And honestly, I may be biased, but every time I look at each of the characters and each of the actors and the kids doing it, every time I look at them, I'm like, I love what they're doing. That's my favorite, and that's my favorite, and that's my favorite.
Okay, well, then that leads me into my next question. Right at this moment,
Yes.
What is your favorite part?
Wow, I think my favorite moment, oh, wow, I'm trying not to tear up. My favorite moment in the scene is when Dorothy is caught up in the castle and she's left alone to her own devices. And in the movie, Aunt Em appears in the crystal ball. In the play, we actually have Aunt Em and Uncle Henry come out and they sing a duet, and it's this beautiful family moment of a mother and father figure and their daughter comforting each other, and it's just so precious, and the kids sound so beautiful when they're doing it. So
The Wizard of Oz coming up the final 2 weekends in July, opening July 21st. Yes?
Yes.
And then running that weekend and the next weekend. If people want tickets, they can go to the RHCR website, which is...
right there.
Those watching the video can see it, of course. And it is also magically on the video appearing underneath
Ooh.
our faces
Exciting,
right at
exciting.
this moment.
Yeah.
RHCR Theater, and that's theater with an R-E, .com.
Yes.
Well, thanks
and
so
get
much.
your tickets quickly because they are selling out very fast.
Oh yeah, and this is, and you're at the Village.
Yes,
which
down in
is
Czech Village.
down in Czech Village, which is not the biggest facility in the world.
No.
So it's a very cool little space,
So
but
we
it's not a
have-
big one.
But it's going to be beautiful, nice little intimate setting. But so tickets are going fast, which is why we have the 2 weekends of performances.
Excellent.
So
So
get
get
your
your tickets at the RHCR website. Thanks so much for coming in, and gosh, good luck with the
Thank
run.
you. Thank you.
thank you.